Alrighty, welcome to another vintage retro cube video here. We're in a draft league, and so the retro cube, it's got, a lot of the vintage cube standbys, and it's got newer cards. It's not like, Bitter Triumph is a really old card or anything like that, but what it doesn't have is all the threats and newest stuff. Like, there's just not every single card you're expected to see. This was the cube used at the Worlds event in Las Vegas from Ultimate Guard, and it's very sweet. And part of why I can describe it sweet, I'm going to first pick a Fractured Identity here. And Fractured Identity is not a card that really shines in normal vintage cube. It's good, but it isn't, a card that you would typically first pick. This is kind of a weak pack, I guess. In any case, I'm happy to take Fractured Identity first. And cards like Fractured Identity and Treachery, they really actually do the thing in this cube. Let me see. What do I want to do here? There's a Tinker. There's a Brain Freeze, Smuggler's Copter. I think I might just take Tinker here. Though Subtlety is also pretty nice. I think with first picking Fractured Identity, that makes me more want to draft like a blue-white control style deck and less a combo deck. Tinker works nicely in kind of like it's a midpoint in between both. And then Subtlety is also just a better controlling card. I don't think I want to take Smuggler's Copter, but I'm going to take Tinker here. Drafting around Tinker is pretty fun. All right, and here, I'm just going to take Marsh Flats. If I want to play blue and white cards, Marsh Flats goes a long way. And I don't think Oust or Chart a Course or Spire Bluff really makes sense over the flats. There's a Mindslaver for the Tinker and a Golos, but I'm just going to take Ponder. Ponder's awesome, and Ponder, I think, will help with these cards pretty nicely. I don't think that the Tinker's quite going nuts here yet, but we'll see. Well, now there's Grim Monolith. There's also Preordain. I'm just going to take Preordain. Preordain is excellent. Kind of wish I took Subtlety over Tinker, but I think this is still going to look pretty good. Oh, man, now there's a Mana Leak. Yeah, Mana Leak is great. Let's do it. Over Spellseeker, Cryptic Command, Winds of Abandon, Moat. That's a classic. Sorry, Magic Online keeps like having to... I had to keep reopening it, and it's like being kind of laggy. It's weird. In any case, this pack, there's Candelabra, but I think I'm just going to take Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls works nicely with the Marsh Flats. I feel like the games lend themselves to that. There's also Damnation, but I don't really need to take a double black card. Oh, Hallowed Fountain? What a nice pickup. Okay, that's great. All right, well, the Tinker has not worked out so far. I also can't resize the cards. Look, I can make the cards bigger, but I can't make them smaller. Magic Online is just losing it. So it's going to make my ordering system. I'm going to have to order like a peasant here with just one column. Pretty brutal. But having Ponder, Preordain, Mana Leak, Lingering Souls, Fractured, Hallowed Fountain, Marsh Flats is just really great. So let's see what comes back. Pestermite and Giver of Runes. And I guess Liliana. None of these are that spectacular. Pestermite's good with, of course, Splinter Twin, but I'm not really that close to there. I think I'll just take the Giver of Runes. Liliana also could be good. I could be a blue-black deck. Maybe I would just take Liliana. It's good with Lingering Souls. One of the white cards I have is a white-black card, and the other is just one white mana. All right, let's just take Liliana, see if that works out. Oh, Subtlety Wield. All right, well, I guess had I taken a different card instead of Subtlety, or instead of Tinker, then no harm, no foul, because the Subtlety came back, and I like that more than Spar's Headquarters or Smuggler's Copter. Okay, so I've got Liliana, Lingering Souls, Fractured, and a bunch of great blue cards. I also have this Tinker, which may or may not end up panning out. And then I have a black-white blue fetch and a white-blue land. So things are looking good. Here, there's a Boros Signet. I don't love the Signets, though I guess it is good with Tinker. There's also Spire Bluff. I guess I should just take the Signet. They're both red fixing, which I don't need right now, but at least the Signet gives me some Tinker outs. Oh, now there's Venser. Venser's the kind of card which has, again, lost its luster in normal vintage cube, but is certainly right back in there in the retro cube. Rakdos Signet is also there for Tinker, but I guess I can just take Simic Signet now, and now I've got a couple half-on-color Signets to maybe make this Tinker work. I mean, if I pick up a good target, I can have a lightly supported Tinker. All right, Winds of Abandon, that's a fine card. I don't like it in control decks as much, just because it's at its best when you have a bunch of creatures out and you just win the game and you don't let them use those extra lands. And it's a really bad card to play early, but it's still a pretty solid card. Oh, there's a Mox Emerald or Sapphire, even better. Sapphire works really well with Tinker. Passing a Snapcaster Mage might get Sundering Titan back. That's definitely one I could consider. There's also a Toxic Deluge there that I wouldn't mind. I can't believe that these cards, I don't know what they did to Magic Online. I could never make the cards that big, and now I can't make them even smaller. So, all right, here we go. And here there's a Scalding Tarn and a Ragavan. And I'm not sure which one. I think I'm just going to take the Tarn. This doesn't look like a great Ragavan setup. I don't have that much in the way of interaction to get it through. I have just like Winds of Abandon and maybe like Venser. I guess Ragavan and Subtlety, their 2-drop is a way to do it. But Scalding Tarn is just going to be excellent here. So let's just take that. I don't see a reason to put a cheap creature into my deck that's a different color instead of just taking a land that's currently a blue-white-red land, but could obviously be much more than that. And here we've got Oko, but I don't have any green fixing. There's the Trop to go with it. But there's also Parallax Wave. Parallax Wave is just an awesome card. All right, I'm willing to commit to more white to get Parallax Wave in there. I like Fire Ice and Skydiver too, but Parallax Wave is fantastic. All right, let's get the Lingering Souls in. Liliana out for now, but I don't really mind that I gave up a Giver of Runes. And here, there's a Force of Will. Yeah, we're slamming that. Miscalc is good too, but Force of Will is just so good. Force of Will with Tinker or Fracture Identity is just the dream, where you get to play your big card and then force whatever they play. And it's also good defensively, but it's just at its best proactively. Passing on Miscalculation, Indatha Triome, Prismatic Ending, Wall of Omens. 4 cards I want, so there's a decent chance I get something back. And then here, Memory Lapse? Yes, please. I was looking at that Baleful Strix and thinking, okay, maybe I could splash that, but just Memory Lapse is perfect. Now, there is a Mystical Tutor. We've passed a lot of twin cards, too. Zealous Conscripts, then Splinter Twin, then Exarch all in a row. But that ship sailed. Do I want Mystical Tutor to go get Tinker or Force of Will or Fracture Identity? Yeah, probably. Wedding Announcement I don't think is that good. And Gideon, yeah, whatever. That's passable. Oh, there's Factor Fiction. That was the card I was missing out of my last blue deck. And it looks really nice here. Foff with a bunch of cheap counters is good. Control Magic is good. Pest Infestation is splashable. Very Confidence a little harder to splash, but I'm just going to take the Foff. Foff is excellent here. This has been a really good pack. Blue's been super open from this direction. So honestly, if it keeps going like this, I'm just not going to even need the Tinker. Here, there's a Resto and a Pentad Prism and an Expressive Iteration. I do like Iteration, but I'm kind of thinking Pentad Prism, because if I take that, it makes my colors better and is very good with Tinker. All right, that could be what I need to kind of get this Tinker at least well supported, and now I just need something to get. Okay, and here there's a Spirit of the Labyrinth, which I'm not going to take, a Disenchant, which is actually pretty decent, and a big Elspeth. I'm not the biggest fan of Elspeth. I mean, it's fine in this cube, but I think a Disenchant is a kind of nice little piece of interaction. I can get a different finisher if I need one. Ooh, Force Spike came back? All right, I'm in for Force Spike over my 4th Signet, and I don't want Armageddon. This is not the kind of deck that Geddon's useful in, though. Not having the OG Force Spike card, not good retro trade practices. Now it's Thieving Skydiver, Soul Herder, and Fire Ice. I'm just going to take Fire Ice. I love Fire Ice. And I've got a Scalding Tarn, a Boros Signet, a Pentad Prism. I have some ways to cast it. Seems pretty good. It's a 2-drop. It's not a 4-drop. Ooh, see, Wall of Omens came back. Perfect. This would have made the Soul Herder a little better, but I'm happy to take Wall of Omens. There is Greaves for Tinker, but I'm going to draft like I'm blue-white control and not really worry about tinkering. Kaldra is a Tinker target. It's not the worst one. Elish Norn is good too, though. I'll take Kaldra because I also haven't seen Stoneforge, and if I take Kaldra, now I can have a deck that can Stoneforge for it, hopefully, and then also tinker it up if I need to. And then Gideon Jura, I think, will be better than an Exarch. I'm not doing the whole twin thing. I already know Splinter Twin's gone. So, oh, and a last pick Control Magic. All right, if I had to guess, I actually am not going to be playing this Tinker, but we'll see. Now there's a Mana Drain. All right. I mean, Mana Drain also works nicely with some of this expensive stuff. Passing a Treachery, which I would like to get back, and a Containment Priest, which is fine. For right now, let's take out Tinker, some of these Signets. Oh, okay. This is a big one. There's Path, which is good, but I feel like with all the counters and the Winds of Abandon, Parallax Wave, I don't need the Path. So now it's do I want Teferi? Do I want Consecrated Sphinx? Do I want Seachrome Coast? There's Volcanic Island too, though that's not super necessary. Flash is also Not really a card I can use. So I'm kind of thinking Teferi. I have all the 2-drop counters. Teferi into Leak, Drain, or Lapse is so good. Or into Fire Ice. Untap 2 lands, ice your big attacker. I would love to get Consecrated Sphinx back, but I'm not going to stress if I don't. This deck has a lot more gas than my last blue deck. I'm happy about that. Oh, and here I can just take Scrubland. It just makes Lingering Souls a little better, and I don't think this deck's going to play Time Spiral. I don't think it's really going to play Mystical Tutor either. I'm going to take the Tutor, the Tinker, most of the Signets out, and just see, and the Cauldron Complete, and just see where we're at from there. But I think I just take Scrubland here. Scrubland is a fine card. And this pack has some good ones too. There's Jace, there's Wrath, and there's Force of Negation, as well as Elite Spellbinder. Kind of thinking Force, because Wrath is good, but I have Winds of Abandon, Parallax Wave, Control Magic, Fractured Identity. Gideon Jura is also nice, though Gideon's good with Wrath as well. There's also Azorius Signet, but I don't think I'm doing that. All right, let's just take Force. Force is a fantastic card. I don't really have much to Jace with. And now there's Council's Judgment or Wandering Emperor. It's also Lotus Petal, but this isn't really a Petal deck. I kind of like the Wandering Emperor to get additional, it's a good 2-for-1. Yeah, I think I like that more than Council's Judgment. It's close. Oh, I'm going to take Tundra. Let's look at the rest of the pack and then take Tundra. Yeah, we're taking Tundra. I mean, I just can't really pass up a second land of my sort. What is this? Oh, Cyclonic Rift. No, I don't really want to put a Cyclonic Rift in my deck. A bounce spell doesn't do that much for a control deck. Generally, there's Lightning Helix. If my mana works out for it, Lightning Helix is good, but it doesn't really look that close, right? I've got Scalding Tarn, and I got some Signets, which I guess playing Boros Signet wouldn't be the end of the world. There's also Elspeth Knight Errant, but I don't really like that. I'd rather take Lightning Helix and have it be really good in the right matchup. Oh, Balance with all these Planeswalkers? Yeah, I'm in for that. All right. Nothing came back around except Containment Priest, which is good with Parallax Wave, but I think this cube is a little less combo-oriented, so I'm going to sideboard it. Kind of want to sideboard the Winds of Abandon too. The Winds of Abandon isn't the worst with balance in the sense that you get to balance something or win something early, and then later when you balance, their extra land actually doesn't really help them that much. Currently, I'm at 29 cards, so it'd be 16 lands plus a Mox. So this is kind of set. I have a lot of 4s, maybe the Control Magic or Gideon Jura are on their way out. Also, I could cut Lingering Souls, but I have 2 black sources for free, costing me nothing. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, Seachrome Coast versus Consecrated Sphinx. I'm going to take Consecrated Sphinx. I just can't turn down the opportunity to play with the Consecrated Sphinx, the Confather, if you will. And Mana Drain into it sounds great too. Okay, now I think I'll play 17 land plus a Mox. I'll play an extra land. Yeah, this looks great. I am in. Also, my mana's pretty good. I have 4 blue-white lands and 2 cantrips plus a Wall of Omens. That's pretty solid. I might want to get one of these Signets in. I have some good things to ramp into. I don't want Pentad Prism still, but a Signet actually seems like it could be decent. I think Kitchen Finks is a better sideboard card than Emrakul the Promised End. I feel like I'm more likely to want an anti-aggro card. Lingering Souls I like at protecting all the Planeswalkers, so I think I'll keep that in. I guess I took out Gideon Jura, so I just have 2 Planeswalkers, but 2 is still pretty good. Winds of Abandon is a card I could potentially cut as well. Or I could cut a land and just play the Signet over a land. Oh, Elite Spellbinder. Yeah, I don't want Jetmir's Gardens for any reason. Or I could just play Elite Spellbinder instead. Elite Spellbinder is also pretty solid, just a good card. I'm not playing a Stormcatch Mentor. Yeah, I mean, if I play 16 land plus a Mox, that's also pretty good. Is there anything I'd want to cut for a Signet? There is the Lingering Souls, but I just kind of feel like Lingering Souls is going to be decent here. My curve is a little high. Oh, Relic Order is at least a sideboard card. And I think I'll main deck Disenchant. Winds of Abandon is another card I could potentially look at cutting, but I think Winds is also going to be decent here. Braid is another potential sideboard card. All right, let's get to deck building. Look at how big these cards are. I haven't even changed anything. This is Magic Online. I haven't changed any of my settings, and now at minimum they're as big as they were when they were the biggest. So, all right. Do I want a Signet? I don't think so. Let's try it like this. So here, I'm not going to play any non-blue sources. I guess I have Fire Ice with Is this the second deck that I'm going to play Fire Ice with no ways to cast fire? Maybe I want the Boros Signet after all. I mean, Signet is good with balance. What would I cut? You know what? I'll cut the Winds of Abandon. I don't like that card anyway. Give them a 2-for-1? Are you kidding me? So let's go 7-3, 7-4. So now I have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 blue. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 white. Yeah. Sounds good to me. Let's get in there. This deck is sick. This is definitely the best retro deck I've had so far. Of the like 3 that I put on the channels thus far. All right. Who would like to play first? It's a good hand. I don't think I want to ponder on turn 1. So the upsides of pondering on turn 1 are that if I find a 2-mana counter, I'll have it up on turn 2. The downside is I don't get to shuffle away 2 cards with this Scalding Tarn. And that's a big zoom. Yeah, Magic Calling, what is going on? And I also don't know what I'm playing against. I'm not going to know on turn 1, but if they go Forest Birds, that's pretty different than if they go, Swamp into Duress or something. Well, I guess if they Duress, they'll take the Ponder. So kind of bad example there. But yeah, Duress and Inquisition punished me pretty hard for not pondering. I still think on the play, I'd rather just lead, tap Hallowed Fountain, go. All right, my opponent mulled to 5, which does not change my play, I don't think, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. Tapped Proving Ground. All right. Also, I still have a decent chance of finding a counter this turn anyway. All right, let's ponder. Elite Spellbinder, Venser, Parallax Wave. I actually like all those, so let's put... I'm going to want to have the Spellbinder not the first card. I guess I would less like them to know about Venser. And I'll just play my Island. I'm just planning on keeping all of those cards because I think they're all pretty solid. I could maybe shuffle away Parallax Wave, but I don't really want to. Oh, they played Horizon Canopy as their second land, and then now I'm going to Spellbinder them. It just means they don't have either more lands in hand, most likely. Or the other lands they have are tap lands, or they just played the... They just played the Horizon Canopy for no good reason. I guess maybe they wanted to sack it. That doesn't really make sense. Yeah. I guess I'll delay the Oath of Druids. I could take something else and then Parallax Wave my Spellbinder, but they got kind of punished for not playing the Oath of Druids here. We'll see. If they draw a reanimation spell, they can Bone Shards Archon. They kind of want to leave my Spellbinder in play because otherwise their Oath doesn't do anything. Let's go ahead. Play my Island, hit and pass. All right, say go. Yeah, do I want to upkeep? No. I could upkeep Bounce towards Proving Ground, but it's not clear to even have another land to play. So I think I'd rather do this. Oh, they don't even... Oh, see, this is going to punish them. Now, they're probably going to have to cast Shielder's Edict here, end of turn. It's actually almost guaranteed that they will in response to this Venser, because if they don't, then they're going to go down to 2 lands in play, their third land being a tap land, and I have 5 power in play, so they won't even have time to Oath. But they kill the Spellbinder. The Venser's not that big of a clock. And then I'm hoping to draw a land over the next 2 turns to play the Consecrated Sphinx. I'm also fine casting Parallax Wave without much on the board, just because it makes it a lot less likely I get cheesed out by an Animate. Oh. Mana Crypt. That was a draw. Okay. So now they can play the Oath. But that's actually not going to be too bad for me. And they tapped it that way so they don't take damage, but now you just get to go boing. Bounce your Oath. They're going to hit them down to 12, and they have a Mana Crypt in play. And then I guess I just leave my mana up here for Foff or Subtlety. We'll see if they lose the flip. It'd be really nice if they did. They lost the flip. So now they're at 9, facing 5 power. Honestly, I could depending on what they do this turn, just cast Subtlety end of turn. But I think they're going to go Oath. So now the question is, do I FOF in response? Because if I find Force of Negation or Force of Will, I get to counter it. Yeah, I think that's probably worth it. We'll see what they do. I found Force Spike. That's not quite going to get it done. It's fine, though, because I also get to go Parallax Wave, wave out my creatures, and then let Mana Crypt do some work. I think that's solid. So I also could try to fade whatever they oath up with the Parallax Wave. The funny thing is Fire Ice is dangerous to them because they think I can deal 2 with it. Haha, joke's on them. I cannot. I'm just going to take the pile with Mana Leak. Okay, Oath resolves. And then they're going to kill one of my creatures here. It would be kind of wild not to. I can't counter it with Mana Leak, but I can play Parallax Wave. I can actually, kind of a weird set of plays. So let's say they kill my Elite Spellbinder with Bone Shards here. I untap, attack them down to 7, play Parallax Wave, flicker out Venser. They maybe lose Mana Crypt Flip. Yeah, this is done. They maybe not. And then I can go the next turn, end of turn Subtlety, attack you with it, and then Parallax Wave it out. And then when the Parallax Wave runs out, my Venser comes into play and bounces the Oath again. So yeah, I mean, they kind of had to bounce Bone Shards the Elite Spellbinder, but the Venser are coming off Parallax Wave is going to punish them pretty nicely. The thing is, the Elite Spellbinder puts them in 1 flip closer to dying. So here, let's go Parallax Wave, leave up Mana Leak, Parallax Wave out my Venser. I don't want them oathing into like a Vaultborn Tyrant or something like that. That just no reason to do that. They have a Mana Crypt out. They're at 7, and then at some point this Parallax Wave is going to go away. I can't speed it up currently. Oh, they lost the flip. Yeah, they're in trouble. They can't even tap their Horizon Canopy for mana at this point. I could play Subtlety end of turn and then wave it a bunch if I wanted the wave to go away, but I don't even really need to do that. This might be sacking Horizon Canopy, which is great, but for me, but it also makes the Mana Leak better and the Force Spike a little better. Let's see what they're... Shallow Grave on the Archon. Okay. I can't counter that, unfortunately, because they have a mana floating. All right. And I discard Force Spike. I guess they're going to get some life back here. I think I'm just going to let them hit with Archon. I could Parallax Wave it. The problem is then it comes back and sticks around forever. Oh, they're drawing a card now? All right. After playing a land, sure. I'll take 9, I guess. And I think I discard Consecrated Sphinx here. It doesn't... Well, no, I'm just going to discard Subtlety. Here's why. I can just look for more stuff, and at some point I just play the Sphinx and... sack this. I can play the Sphinx, and when the Parallax Wave goes away, Venser the Oath of Druid, then I have Sphinx in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. They have 5 cards in hand, including Shieldred's Edict. All right. I think since they're tapped out, now is the time. Play Sphinx, Parallax Wave the Sphinx, and then I'll leave the wave in play just to protect myself. I don't have a way to like make it go faster now, but with a Mana Crypt in play, they're the one who's under more pressure. Yeah, they go down to 7 now. And I wanted to sneak that in before Shieldred's Edict, because Shieldred's Edict now can't kill the Sphinx, because Venser will come into play at the same time. Okay, let's see what this is. Sneak attack. Jeez, okay. What are we sneaking in? Kozilek? Okay, I will Parallax Wave that. And then they don't do anything else. All right, wave goes down to 0. The Kozilek I can beat, though. Draw. Mana drain. All right, so let's preordain first. Wandering Emperor, Force of Will. Huh. They're at 7. Wave is going away. I kind of want both these, but I think I want Wandering Emperor first. Because end of turn, I'm going to get to play Wandering Emperor. It also protects me against a sneak thing. If they have more things to sneak, I guess. They did run out the sneak attack. That was. I mean, drawing 2 with the Archon got them into some action. Let's see if they still have Shieldred's Edict in hand. Wandering Emperor protects me fairly well from most of the things they could sneak in. I mean, Emrakul would be annoying because I would lose a bunch of permanents, but I still wouldn't die to it. And we'll see what they've got. If they're casting spells, I'm happy because I've got a bunch of counters in my hand. Collective Brutality, discard Fire Covenant. I kind of want to memory lapse that, I think. I don't want them drawing cards to sneak into play. So putting that on top makes it less likely they hit one of those. All right, draw. So now I have another decision. They have Shieldred's Edict in hand. They have Oath of Druids on top. I could get attacked by Kozilek. I could also... They don't have a... So here's the thing. They don't have a creature that they can sneak into play right now, because they would have done it. So I don't really need to bounce the sneak that much. If I bounce the Kozilek, they get to Oath. If I bounce the Oath, they don't. But then they get to attack me with Kozilek. They get to Collective Brutality first, and that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think I bounce the Oath of Druids here. I could also just bounce the Venser, but then they get to Shieldred's Edict my Sphinx, which I guess I could counter, but it seems like bouncing Oath will work out fairly well. Then I pass the turn. They can Shieldred's Edict me end of turn, and I can just sacrifice the Venser. They draw Collective Brutality. I can mana drain it. I can still force their next play. The Oath doesn't matter anymore. And the Kozilek, I can Wandering Emperor after sacking 4 lands. So I think I've got them pretty locked up here. We'll see. Obviously, if the last card in their hand, because I know bolt that. I see. Okay. Interesting. Their last card's Bolt. So then they're going to Shieldred's Edict. Do I want to mana drain or mana leak that? Their hand right now is Shieldred's Edict, Oath of Druids. And their top card is Collective Brutality. So if I counter that, then they Collective Brutality me. Yeah, they have 2 black mana. Oh no, this is actually pretty problematic. Because Shieldred's Edict. Because I can't counter everything now. Because they're going to get to Brutality next turn. Well, I guess I can mana leak the Bolt. And then their Shieldred's Edict makes me sack Venser. I mean, they're going to get something through here, but we'll see what they do. They also could still die to Mana Crypt. They lost the flip. They've lost all their Mana Crypt flips. It's kind of funny. Okay, and I get to draw 2 cards here first, so yeah, that wasn't super relevant. Well, no, this is fine. Because now, look, they can... Yeah, no, we're fine, actually. Because now they can Collective Brutality me. I just let it resolve. Oh, wait. No, they Collective Brutality. They're going to kill Venser. Discard Oath, kill Venser, duress me. Then I just Force of Will it. So Venser lives. They can't Shieldred Edict the Consecrated Sphinx, and they can't Collective Brutality the Wandering Emperor. So Force, pitching, mana drain. Force can't be good news for them because they now they know I could have just cast mana drain, so now they know I've got a card I can play. So now what they have to do is attack with Kozilek first, or Edict me first. It's kind of like the same thing. And then I Wandering Emperor. Okay. Whew. This is a close game. It didn't look like it was going to be a close game, but it is in fact going to be a close game. Wandering Emperor. This comes into play. Exile Kozilek, gain 2. Sack 4 lands. All right, so, well, Containment Priest is coming in, and just the most giant sideboard card imaginable. Don't think I really want Control Magic or Gideon Jura. Balance also does not look very good. Disenchant's great. Wall of Omens is just okay, so if I could maybe put another Signet in or something. Wall does kind of protect me from Archon. I should probably just put Leona Relic Order in it. It hits Oath and Sneak, and even though it's a little fragile, they have Bolt and Collective Brutality. It's still probably better than nothing. All right. Ice is actually kind of nice. Ice is nice, because if they sneak in Kozilek, for example, I can just ice it down. Parallax Wave, obviously great. Fractured Identity, it's got some moments. So Force Spike, still pretty good, I think. All right. Yeah, this hand's kind of mediocre, but let's see how it turns out. I don't know. I have a Subtlety. I've got some lands. It feels like they've got a little bit of hand disruption and got some good mana. Maybe that was bad. Who knows? They chose for me to go first, and they mulled to 5 again. Okay. Chosen to be on the draw is wild. I guess you're really trying to maximize discarding on turn 1. I mean, Lingering Souls isn't the best against Oath of Druids decks for sure, but I'm still probably going to run it out. Upon further introspection, I'm not even really sure why I kept this hand, but yeah, we're in it. Let's wait on Lingering Souls because we have Force Spike, and then I'm also a little worried about Oath of Druids. And again, they played Nurturing Peatland, which probably means they don't have another land, but I guess given what the order they played their lands in game 1, there's no real way to tell. They got to be thinking about this Force Spike here. Well, it's okay. It'll be living rent-free in their head. Maybe they have it. If they go land Oath here, it could be pretty annoying. Okay, no Oath, no Oath. No Oath so far. On my next turn, I'm going to have up Subtlety plus Force Spike, or I could flashback Souls. Technically still have Subtlety plus Force Spike up, though obviously it's a little less exciting once you're hard cast or you're pitch casting it. Oh, what is this? If this is a Collective Brutality with Kicker, then I'll Force Spike it because I got nothing else to discard. They probably also do want to get a tap land most of the time with this Arid Maze. So they had a bunch of tri lands. I mean, we'll see what lands they have. Oh, they did have a bad lands. It's true. Okay. Bone Shards, discarding Primeval Titan. Let's draw. Send for 1. Island go. I'm just going to leave up Subtlety here. And are they going to like Shallow Grave the Titan now? Guess we'll find out. I really should not have kept this hand though. I don't even really know what I was thinking. All right, well, I'm going to cast the Subtlety because it doesn't really counter that much in their deck. So pressuring them, I think, is decent. Draw. Oh, Disenchant makes me a lot less scared of Oath, and still Sneak is pretty good, but Vendetta. All right. Well, it worked out really nicely to cast that and attack, because now I get to play Consecrated Sphinx, and they hopefully don't have Shieldred's Edict in hand. Be really nice to draw. Oh, they're going to sack their land in response. Yeah, because if... Oh, Mana Tithe me. I'm the one who got Force Spiked. Wow. Okay. That's a beat. I didn't really expect a Mana Tithe, I will say that. Hopefully they don't have a land and they can tap out for Sneak. Oh, are they sacking Peatland? I do like that. It makes my Force Spike better. Okay. Wow, I have not drawn a spell in a while, but that's all right. Let's just Lingering Souls, have Disenchant up. Force Spike not looking too hot here, but you never know. Pass the turn. I mean, if I draw one counter, I'll feel like I'm in pretty good shape. Obviously depends what they do this turn. If they're worried about Force Spike, they might slow play something. Is this a Sneak attack? I'm just going to Force Spike it. I just don't think Force Spike's going to be that good here. So I think using it, even though I'm not getting to use my or I could have used disenchant. Oh, there we go. Preordain ought to help. Parallax Wave, Elite Spellbinder. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to keep those. Spellbinder you. Let's see what they got. Kozilek Iona Prismatic Ending. I guess I'll take the Kozilek in terms of... The problem with taking a Prismatic Ending is it actually doesn't really work to Elite Spellbinder it. So let's say Elite Spellbinder it, right? They could then choose to cast Prismatic Ending targeting Elite Spellbinder X equals 0 and just pay 3 mana. It doesn't really work to do that. Oh, they have Depth Stage in their deck too? Okay, and they're going to Prismatic Ending the Spellbinder. Oh, hi, Jules. Good girl. Yeah, that slows down the beats for sure. Yeah, let's just draw and play Prismatic or a Parallax Wave. They don't have Prismatic Ending for it. It really mitigates the concern of like Shallow Grave or Reanimate of any kind. I also have a combo in my hand, which is, let's say I wanted to, I could go target your thing with Prismatic or Parallax Wave a bunch of times and then disenchant the Parallax Wave in response. Then it's just gone forever. So I think the Lingering Souls is going to get the job done here as slowly and painfully as possible. Yeah, I really didn't send my best in this particular game, but it looks like it's going to work out. I mean, their hand right now is Iona Lightning Bolt, I guess. So they got a 5. That did buy them a whole extra turn. I still currently have lethal before the Parallax Wave runs out, which is nice. And if I, again, draw 1 counter, I think I just kind of lock the game up. Oh, Venser's got to do it, because then I can go Venser end of turn. And honestly, I'll probably just Venser back the Parallax Wave. Oh, they're going to turn their stage into a Tundra. Yeah, you got it. You got to play here? I mean, sneaking in Iona wouldn't have even done much. I guess they could like show and tell, but nope. Looks like we got him. All right, time for round 2. Oh, this hand's much better. I still don't really know why I kept that hand. I was like, oh, lands and spells. I would just like to advise viewers, do not keep hands that bad. That hand just had nothing that really interacted with their deck. It just so happened that they molded to 5 and had medium draws. I don't really need to play Mox on turn 1, especially against a green deck. And I can just Force Spike this. Oh, yeah, we out here Force Spike in that Wall of Roots and then playing a turn 2 Spellbinder, turn 3 Venser. I gotta say, the Retro Cube's growing on me. This has been fun. Okay, Elite Spellbinder you. What you got? Deranged Hermit, Emrakul, The Promised End, Force of Vigor. No, I'm just gonna take Deranged Hermit here. Force of Vigor, I gotta worry about it, but it doesn't really help to take it with Elite Spellbinder all that much. And Emrakul is gonna be so expensive here. It costs 12 right now that I'm not that worried. Deranged Hermit also with Cradle is obviously such a good play. So let's go hit with Spellbinder. And I kind of want to just upkeep Venser a land here. They don't have a thing to play. This probably resets their land such that they're not going to play anything this turn. Right now, yeah, let's preordain. Wall of Woman's Island. Bottom for Island. I'll top Wall of Omens here. Oh, maybe I should have just left Island on top, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, I definitely should have. If I draw a different land, it would be... I'll be happy I didn't, but I guess I drew a Teferi, so... I thought I had 1 more mana for some reason. I'm just kind of jamming. You know how it goes. If they kill my Mox Sapphire this turn, I guess that's decent, but I feel pretty good about things still. Oh, okay. Ignoble, and if they don't have a different land, they'll play Cradle. No, they have Forest. All right, let's draw. Never mind, never punished. Attack. They take 5. Play Teferi. Unless they wanted to mid-combat Force of Vigor my Mox. That seemed like a little wild. Now I get to draw a card. If I draw a counter magic, then... Oh, I even drew counter magic that like I don't need to keep mana untapped for. I'm going to upkeep Ice the Ignoble Hierarch here. They can't cast the Hermit this turn anyways, but if they tap out for Hermit next turn, I can just counter it. Disenchant might be coming out here. They don't seem like they're very close to doing anything. Their hand is Cradle, Emrakul, Force of Vigor, 2 unknowns. They have a Deranged Hermit that costs 7 mana that they're just not close at all to playing. Okay. Control Magic is generally pretty good against green decks. Disenchant might not be. I guess I'd do that. I could also put in like a mountain and then put in like... So if I put in 1 mountain, I still only have 3 red. Yeah, I was just thinking if I could side in Abrade or Lightning Helix as a way to kill elves. Mystical Tutor for balance is also not crazy, but maybe I want Gideon Jura. Gideon Jura can be good against these decks. I think Force Negation still might be fine. Maybe not. Let's maybe put in Gideon for Force now, and we'll reevaluate if I need to. Don't really want wins against a deck playing Emrakul. All right, well, this isn't a great hand, but I think it's keepable. Turn 2 Mana Leak, turn 4 Control Magic. Seems all right. And we'll keep this hand. They kept 7 as well. No Mana Dork. That's good news. Oh, Elite Spellbinder. I don't mind that. Also, I just noticed that Magic Online tweeted that the zoom issue is not intended. So hopefully we get our card sizing back as well. You know, the people need the good organization system. Oh, I could have had a Disenchant for that Mox, huh? What's the scary 3-drop they have? I guess we'll see. Green Sun's Zenith for 2 to get a Wall of Roots. Or hopefully not a Rofellos. That would be unfortunate. Wall of Roots is fine, because then next turn, I could Mana Leak. I mean, I still might be able to Mana Leak here. Oh, Balance. Let's just pass. I don't really need to balance. Because if I cast Balance, it kills Rofellos and I discard 2 cards. That doesn't seem like a good deal. Let's hope I can Mana Leak whatever this is. It's going to be Deranged Hermit. They got to worry about that Force Spike. If this is a Wall of Roots first, I'm going to allow that. Nope. This is going right up to 5. I still got to think about balance, because it's possible that I could just, if this is Deranged Hermit, I could just balance it away. I mean, I still run into the same problem that I'll have to discard some cards, but Garruk Wildpeak, yes, that I'm going to Mana Leak 100%. They're playing around Force Spike there by playing Garruk first. So I guess they don't have lands in hand, yeah. The problem with playing Elite Spellbinder is it makes balance a lot worse, but I think I'm just going to go Spellbinder, hope to fade 1 turn, and then just Control Magic the Rofellos, because they don't have lands in hand. And it's Kinnan, Nissa. Oh, geez, okay. Well, they can't really play Nissa to much effect. I think I just take the Pest Infestation, because if I Control Magic Rofellos, then they can't play Pest Infestation. They could play Nissa this turn, but it only have 3 loyalty. It'd go up to 4 loyalty, then I'd attack it. This is going to be tough, though. I don't think this is going to be an easy one. I think there's a decent chance they play Kinnan, and then they can't play Nissa. If they draw a Forest, all bets are off. So, yeah. Kind of had to hope they didn't, because they had so many good plays if they did. I could take Nissa, but then they could have just played it still smaller. Guess I'm probably dead here. Let's draw. I need Fractured Identity. Okay. I'm going to Control Magic the Rofellos. They're going to get to blow it up with Nissa, but that's not the end of the world. I'm going to attack Nissa for down to 3 as well, or 4-3 as well. I'm at 20, so I'm not dead this turn, luckily. This is gone. Pest Infestation. If they draw a land, they could Pest Infestation. But for x equals 1. They could also Nissa the control magic. Play Kinnan here. I guess if they play Kinnan, that probably means they didn't draw a land. All right. Oh, Soul Ring. Look at you. All right, well, I guess Disenchant's probably coming back in. Do they want the Raphaelos back? No, they're just going to make a monster. Okay. This seems beatable-ish. Well, is it? It's going to be tough. Okay, Gideon's nice too. Let's Fracture Identity to Nissa, because I think what I've got to do is Fracture Identity Nissa, destroy the Soul Ring, because otherwise they could cast Craterhoof because the Kinnan is pumping the mana production. But now they can't cast Pest Infestation very easily. I'm going to block so that I don't lose Nissa. I really need them. Oh no, they could. I guess they can kill Nissa this turn if they want to cast Pest Infestation x equals 1 on control magic. I just got to hope they don't do that. But even if they kill Nissa, I still get to balance then. So let's see what they end up doing. This looks like Pest Infestation. Yeah. Okay, I tap the Raphaelos because going back over there. Not that it really matters. I hope they just attack me. No, they're attacking Nissa with both. All right. I was hoping to get a little more value out of this. Let's block. I know I'm going to lose Nissa still, but I want my creature to die, so this balance is good. It'd be nice to draw something. I guess I lose a bunch of stuff no matter what. And I'm 1 mana short. Drawing a Mox this turn would have been unbelievably good. So I could plus Gideon, but that doesn't really help much. They have 2 cards in hand. I mean, I'm just going to balance, discard an island, sack 2 lands. So choose these 3 lands. Choose these 2 cards. Play an island. They have a Craterhoof and an Unknown in hand. But at least they played their Pest Infestation out of exile, so that's gone too. Ship the turn, and now if I draw another land, it's not so bad. Okay, they didn't play anything. I can slam Gideon. Yeah, all right. This was a pretty nice comeback if I do end up winning here. I feel like I was just getting completely worked every turn. Fracture Identity is a nice one. Now, let's see, they have, now they have the Deranged Hermit, yeah. Okay. Action? A little action here would be really nice. Well, on the plus side, the Gideon isn't going to die yet, so I have a tiny bit of breathing room. But they're going to pay upkeep. I really wanted to draw like a way to block one thing or a way to kill that Mox so they didn't pay upkeep. Would have been pretty sick. Now they're going to attack Gideon down to 1 loyalty. I'm going to get to plus it again. I don't have another sweeper. Lingering Souls would have also been awesome. It still would be. Let's draw. I'm going to +2 it. Play a land, pass the turn. All right, now can I draw Consecrated Sphinx? That could still be good. If I played Consecrated Sphinx, they could attack me for 6, or they could attack me for 8, but they lose the Hermit. Either one isn't that great for them. Yeah, they all go to attack Gideon. They don't have a choice. I think you're confused as to what's going on here. All right, there we go. All right, this is the turn where I need to draw something. Sure, I'm not going to counter this Tree Speaker, I don't think. I mean, it could let them Craterhoof me next turn, but oh. All right. That's actually pretty good. See, that would have been so sick last turn or 2 turns ago, but I already gotten pretty lucky to be in this by peeling Fracture Identity, so I'll take it. So because now I get to kill the Hermit and take way less damage this turn. because I get to go Wandering Emperor, -2 on the Hermit. I really only take 2 this turn because all the squirrels shrink. So I go to 10, and then I can make a, wow, then I can make a 2/2. That was actually kind of the perfect draw. So I've been getting pretty lucky, not going to lie. I have mana drain for this Crater Hoof, which means I can't really counter whatever they play this turn, unfortunately. Birthing Ritual, okay. So they can sack their Tree Speaker to maybe get a 2-drop. That doesn't sound like a good deal. They could sack a Squirrel to maybe get a 1-drop. Cool card, I guess. It doesn't look very good right now. Because they can't sack the Tree Speaker either. All right, another piece of action. Oh my god, a Teferi? All right, never mind. I'm just the luckiest because now I'm going to plus Teferi, still have up mana drain. I'll play the Mox anyway, and then make a 2/2. So I lose the Wandering Emperor, but now they can't kill Teferi, and I have a drain up for their Crater Hoof. And next turn I get to peel 2 cards. And if they want to attack Teferi to try to kill it, they have to send the Tree Speaker in, which they haven't been leveling up. Okay. They draw Forest. No, what is this? Is this, oh, Natural Order? I guess I have to counter that. Okay. Well, that puts me in a slightly awkward spot because I know they've got Crater Hoof in hand still. It just means I need a Teferi into another counterspell. Easy. Oh, they didn't even attack? Okay. They technically don't have 8 mana yet. I could also minus Teferi on their Draga Tree Speaker. I'd really rather not do that. Oh, they sacked a Squirrel. Can they miss? No, they didn't, unfortunately. Draw. Oh, I drew the Memory Lapse. Now I don't have to minus Teferi. I mean, it doesn't solve the problem, but it at least delays me a turn. Oh, and then I have Ice. So let's go past the turn. Untap, no lands, draw. I think on upkeep, I'm going to Ice the Tree Speaker. This also could find me something to play, like a Venser would be sick here. Okay. So unlucky. Now they do get to attack with a Squirrel with Exalted, thanks to the Noble. But that could be okay. Okay. Do I block? If I block, Teferi goes to 4, but I think this is still fine. I don't mind. It's not so much that I really need... I'm glad they didn't play anything this turn. It's not so much that I really cared about the loyalty. I just thought that was a decent exchange, especially with a birthing ritual in play. They keep sacking... Have they hit Hexdrinker? Oh, man, okay. Now what? Minus Teferi on Hexdrinker? I guess I have to. Because otherwise they can just level it up completely. Let's play a land. Pass the turn. They can cast Crater Hoof now. The funny thing is it actually wouldn't be lethal, but they're probably still going to cast it. So they have a Mox Soul. We have a nice mono green deck, I will say that. What am I hoping to draw here? I mean, Venser would be pretty nice. Consecrated Sphinx would be really nice. This is where having a second sweeper would, of course, have been amazing. The Wrath of God I passed. It's staring at me right in the face right now. Okay, Memory Lapse you. And now they can't use Birthing Ritual unless they want to lose their Crater Hoof and Hexdrinker. They can attack Teferi for 1. That I don't mind. Birthing Ritual does not look very good. It really hasn't been very good this game. Like, no, it's illegal to sack right now. If you do, there's 2 misses and they're both good cards coming up. So it'd be kind of wild. Parallax Wave would be really good here. Okay, Venser's nice. Let's draw a card. 2 pieces of action in a row. Okay. Past the turn, I guess. They're going to cast Crater Hoof again. Oh, they've been slow rolling lands? That's so weird. Okay. Oh, they're Emrakul'ing me. Or Kozilek'ing? Okay. Sure. I guess that's a card they could easily have in hand. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. End of turn. I'll let them sack their thing if they want. And presumably you would if you've got these cards in your deck. Okay. Let's crack the Marsh Flats. I'll see what's left that really matters here. I don't need to bounce the Kozilek yet. At some point I can. I've got Consecrated Sphinx, Factor Fiction, Force of Will, Subtlety, Parallax Wave, Lingering Souls. It's going to be tough. I mean, Factor Fiction is decent. Let's draw. Force Spike might be good too at some point here. I don't really think this is going to work out well. I think they're going to get me. Kind of need this Consecrated Sphinx. I can't play it this turn, unfortunately. Yeah, I guess right now I would take... I'm just going to take the Sphinx pile. Because, well, I could play it this turn, but then I have to chump the Kozilek, which I guess I'd rather bounce. Let's ponder. Maybe I can hit Parallax Wave. I just think Consecrated Sphinx is one of my better ways to like try to win this game. Subtlety and Preordain. I just want to find Parallax Wave. All right. Here, let's go Tarn, crack it. I don't have very many cards left. All right, I can see almost all of them. Bottom, or hold on. Whatever. Bottom draw, Lingering Souls. All right, I'm just going to die to Crater Hoof here. Okay. So I guess Disenchant is probably good because it kills Mox and Soul Ring, which are both pretty good to kill. Force of Negation hits Green Sun's Zenith. It hits Soul Ring or Mox, and it hits Natural Order. Lunar Relic Order is also decent, but my main problem with Relic Order is that it's pretty bad with balance. Pest Infestation's annoying too. Maybe that's a reason to have Force Negation. And I think Force Spike on the play is pretty good. Wall of Omens is not that good. It has some applications, but I think I'd rather just have the Disenchant. All right, and I'll keep Lingering Souls. I do want a way to protect my Planeswalkers. All right, I would like to play first. Okay, this is a pretty nice hand. I'm just going to pay the 2 life for Hallowed Fountain here because if they play a turn 1 Soul Ring, I would rather just disenchant it. That's kind of what the disenchant is for. And this hand really wants to see Factor Fiction or Consecrated Sphinx, Teferi, any of like my action cards because I have a bunch of good reactive cards in hand. Draga Tree Speaker or Ignoble. I'm just going to Mana Leak it. It just slows them down a lot. Even if guys Cradle in their deck. All right, let's go Factor Fiction. Or Elite Spellbinder would be nice too. Oh, Mana Drain. Well, Mana Drain's not bad. That one I probably won't use on like... I would use it on Rofellos, but I don't think I would Mana Drain a Wall of Roots or something like that. Birthing Ritual, no, that one's fine. I'm not even going to disenchant it. I mean, I might next turn, but... Yeah, Force Will's a pretty bad draw. I mean, it's going to be good at some point, but... I can't really cast it or afford to pitch to it here. No plays. Okay. Oh, there's the Foff. There we go. There's the Foffers. Now Mana Drain also gets even better because I can Mana Drain into Factor Fiction. I've got a good use of that mana. Okay. Let's go. I missed a land drop, so they're like going to pounce, but Birthing Ritual. I still think if they took that out and put a random card in their sideboard or a forest in, they'd probably have a better deck. I don't know. It did look pretty bad game 1, and it's looking horrendous here. So It's like a birthing pod, but you look at the top 7 instead of tutoring, which is really bad, and you only do it end of turn. I don't know. It does not seem. I don't get it. All right, what is this? Pest infestation. Okay, well, I'm gonna mana drain that one. I mean, I could. Oh, Green Suns for 2. Green Suns for 2? Okay. I could mana drain it, but I think I'd rather just disenchant the birthing ritual. Yeah, all right. Actually, I guess I don't have to do that because they're not going to sack to birthing ritual. Now I'll just factor fiction here. I'll let them sack Graphellos if they want. I don't think they're going to. Maybe that was greedy. Getting to Foff this turn is kind of nice. No, you can't sack Graphellos to that. That's just a wild play to make. All right. Foff. It's actually not terrible because I have been missing land drops. Getting to mana drain a big thing off Graphellos here is going to be kind of nice, and then I could maybe play Parallax Wave or something. I'm just going to take the pile of 3 if they split it land signet versus land. If they split it like, I guess there's no other way to split it. They could do signet plus 1 land versus, no, they should do signet plus 1 land versus 3 lands. And I'll still take the pile of 3, I guess. Yeah, this is the correct split because then Marsh Flats is also the best land here. No. All right. I'll just take the 3 land pile. Let's draw some Sphinxes. Another land. Land go. Part of the problem I have here too is like, I mean, mana leaking like Noble's good, but if I just counter their small stuff and I don't do anything, eventually their big stuff becomes a problem anyway. Soul Ring, okay. I mean, I don't want to get Kozilek. That is for sure. Cradle. Into Deranged Hermit. Yeah, that... I guess I could mana drain it or I could Force of Will it. Let's just go Force of Will. It uses my mana very nicely. And it leaves them with 4 mana left, which is not a lot. All right, they didn't do anything. And let's see if they sack Graphellos to Birthing Ritual. They can't have that many 3s. All right, let's draw. My red source. I guess I could just upkeep. Here, let's sack this. Get a scrub land. I'm going to upkeep Ice the Graphellos here. Because I really want to make sure that Kozilek is like the scariest thing right now. I could disenchant the Soul Ring. Maybe that's worth it. Do another land. I guess I should have just seen what I drew first. There is a Birthing Ritual there still. I guess I don't know how much of a threat that might end up being. The difference between 5 and 7 mana is I don't think super big here. Waterlogged Grove. So now they have 8 mana, but they're probably just sacking this to draw, sure. And then, what is this? This looks like something I'll probably want to mana drain. This is a Green Sun Zenith? Oh, Nissa. Yeah, I'm going to mana drain the Nissa. All right. I guess I'll let them do this first if they want. They really shouldn't, though. I think I'll disenchant the Soul Ring now. Should have just done that earlier, probably. All right, well. This is pretty weak, but I'm just drawing mega flooded here. I foffed into 5 lands and then drew a bunch of lands. But now maybe I can Force Spike something. Devoted Druid, no. I'll give them a chance to Birthing Ritual that. I don't know what their 3s they can hit are, but they just can't have that many. So yeah, I didn't think so. I'll probably go ahead and oh, that's nice. Let's crack Tarn. because I don't really have anything that I need to shuffle with. All right. Preordain. Let's go. Action. All right. Well, I guess Ponder was actually the only reason not to. Let's Ponder. Wandering Emperor, Lingering Souls. Oh, I don't mind it. But you know what? I'm going to shuffle because I really want to find Consecrated Sphinx. Okay, let's Parallax Wave the Devoted Druid here. Pass the turn. I'm probably going to want to Parallax Wave, Venser the Parallax Wave at some point here. Kinnan, sure. Let them sacrifice if they want. This costs 7 mana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana to use. So I'm not going to want them to have Kinnan in play next turn. So I think I'm going to take one more turn here. Parallax Wave goes to 1. All right, action. That is action. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Teferi is really what I wanted to see. Draw. Elite Spellbinder, huh? Yoink the Kinnan, pass the turn. I don't need to Spellbinder yet, I don't think, because I want to keep up Venser now. And then land go. All right, let's go Venser. Bounce Parallax Wave. They get all their stuff back. Draw. Draw with Teferi. Okay, let's Elite Spellbinder here. I would like to know what their card in hand is. It is Emrakul, the Promised End. Okay, so currently they have 4 card types, so it costs 9. So now it costs 11. I'm definitely going to Parallax Wave the Raphellos. I honestly think I probably Parallax Wave, let's see, Kinnan as well. Oh, they get to use Kinnan in response. Sure, yeah, that's good. All right. Maybe I should have put Containment Priest in. They had a Tree Speaker. Okay. I'm definitely going to get the Kinnan out here. So currently their Emrakul costs 11, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's get the Devoted Druid as well. I need to find balance. Basically, that's the card I'm looking for. And it's still a little awkward because I have some creatures in play, but let's see. So Emrakul. This can be countered, though. Oh, did I not untap my lands? Oops, I clicked through it. Not that it matters here. Okay. The Parallax Wave lasts for a little longer. Oh. Well, I guess I'll Force Spike the Time Twister. All right, it's kind of interesting. I kind of like it. My hand wasn't very good. Okay, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, Soul Ring was a pretty strong opener, I guess. I didn't draw very well off this, but hopefully I can find some stuff. They still have that Emrakul exiled, which is kind of annoying, but now it's down to costing 14 right now. How's this Pest Infestation? Oh, leveling up Tree Speaker, okay. I didn't draw a single 2-mana counter off this. That is pretty rough. Let's hope I got a shot here. I'm going to get to draw off Teferi. The Parallax Wave's here for a few more turns at least. I mean, assuming they don't Pest Infestation me. They could also be casting Nissa here. We'll see. It's Pest Infestation, so let's exile Venser. I think exile Elite Spellbinder. All right, man. None of my Mana Drain, Mana Leak, Memory Lapse, Force of Will, huh? Fair, I guess. Venser. I kind of want to Venser my own Venser. Because I don't really, there's nothing I really need to hit on their part right now. So I think I'm just going to do that. Elite Spellbinder them. Their hand is Crater Hoof, Force of Vigor. I guess I'll make the Crater Hoof more expensive. I'm just trying to maximize for drawing balance here, because if I don't draw balance, then I don't like my spot. All right. Yeah, they can Birthing Ritual. Sack a pest token, I guess, or maybe if there's a 3-drop they want, they could sack one of the 2s. It's been quite the game. Cool match for sure. All right. They missed. Birthing Ritual, nice card. Oh, Force Spike would have worked last turn too. Oh, God. Let's start with Preordain, because I think that'll inform what I do with Teferi. Lingering Souls, Memory Lapse. I mean, the Memory Lapse at least could... The problem is Emrakul. No, I'm just going to put them both on the bottom. Yeah, I guess I'll +1 and hope to draw balance. Well, if I ice the Cradle, I could Venser or Fractured Identity. So I'm probably going to do that. I'm untapping 2 lands, so I currently have 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. I guess I could also play a Gideon Jura. I could Fractured Identity. I mean, maybe I Fractured Identity the Soul Ring. I'm just playing for balance, so I guess I do that. I also have Fire. I guess I have Boros Signet into Fire, so maybe that's even better. Yeah, so let's go Boros Signet. Oh, wait, no, I can't. I could. The problem is then I guess I have to ice the Cradle, don't I? Yeah. So, Venser the Raphelos. Yeah. I'm not going to attack here because it's going to make their attacks harder. Untap those 2. Ice the Cradle. They can use Kinnan a bunch, but hopefully not to kill me this turn. They're also kind of timing out, but you know, not actually going to. Force of Vigor, sure, that's fine. I mean, I guess they can't Crater Hoof me because I can Subtlety it. I guess they cast Crater Hoof this turn. So currently their Emrakul costs 15 minus 2, 13, and they have 8. I mean, they just have enough to Emrakul me too. I guess I couldn't stop that. I mean, I could have maybe minus Teferi on Kinnan, but that doesn't really seem like it does anything, so. Crater Hoof, all right. Subtlety. Wow, yeah, they could have Emrakul'd me. Okay. Well, balance being in the top couple cards could still get the job done. They don't get to kill my Teferi this turn. They can level up Hex Drinker a few times, sure. Honestly, if they attack with Hex Drinker, that's great, because I'm just going to double block and then balance everything down, because I'm drawing balance at this point. This is very clear to me. All right. We've got outs here. We survived that turn. Oh, and they even attacked. Oh, and the double block is so natural here. They didn't attack with the insects or anything. Let's go. Please balance. Please. Top couple cards, and I preordained cards to the bottom. Sure, birthing ritual away. This birthing ritual has been so unbelievably bad. It's even making them waste time here. They have a crater hoof on top. They really should not be using this. Okay. Sure. Balance. All right. Draw. Balance. Okay. They have one card in hand, so let's go. I'm going to keep Force of Will. And I'll have enough to cast Force of Will also. Oh, this is so nice. And I guess just play the normal land. Balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Okay. Choose a card in my hand, Force of Will. All their creatures go away. And they get to gain some life, that's fine. And then +2 Gideon. And then my Teferi is actually about to go ultimate here. And then I get to untap 2 lands and have Force of Will up. They have 1 card in hand. I don't know what it is, of course. Land go. Okay. See what I draw here. Consecrate Sphinx. No, the Wandering Emperor. All right. I'm going to plus Teferi one more time, I think. Because right now their Emrakul costs 15 and they have 9, 12 mana, so they can't cast it next turn. Let's draw. Disenchant. And start clocking with Gideon here. I mean, they're also going to just time out. Oh man, the drawing the balance was so good. They didn't Emrakul me, they just Crater Huffed. Ooh, we take those, you know, we really do. I have enough mana to cast Wandering Emperor and Force of Will, so I didn't need to use either sooner. If they play a Mox, I'll disenchant it. Garruk Wildspeaker. Yeah, that represents 2 mana, so right now, yeah, I guess I will counter that, I think. Let's say 4, 9, 13. They're too short of casting the Emrakul. Wandering Emperor. Make a Samurai. Draw. Planes. All right, let's just make an emblem with Teferi. Make Gideon a creature. They're at 14. Just make another creature, I think. All right, I have lethal. Next turn, I have a disenchant up, which doesn't really do that much, but they can cast 9, 13. Yeah, they're too short. They can cast a Crater Hoof. That doesn't really do much. They could cast a Green Sun Zenith, I guess. Oh, a big Nissa? Sure, that really doesn't do anything. Just make an idiot, and then I'm going to exile it with Teferi, and I'm going to win the game. Oh, man. This was awesome. I'm even going to disenchant the Birthing Ritual at this point. They're even going to time out. Not that it's actually going to come to that. Exile the Horror. Make Gideon a creature. Boom. I could plus Teferi to draw and then exile. Exile Nissa. And then I can play Consecrated Sphinx, exile 2 cards on their upkeep. Even if I needed to, which I don't. Put a counter on those. And game blouses. 2-0. Just beat them on all metrics. No cards, no time. Whew. That was great. Really, really great. And this cube's been delivering. All right, it's going to be hard to top that round, but I am liking this hand round 3 on the draw. But Force Blank's kind of better on the draw. I'm not literally going to concede, but oh my God, Library of Alexandria. Come on, that's the worst card. Literally the worst card I could have seen there. Obviously, if they went Land, Lotus, Planeswalker, that would have been bad too. But like, I was all sitting pretty in my hand of like Force Spike into Mana Leak, and now they're just like, oh no, I'm going to play Library, and they're going to lose to it. All right, that's fair. That's fair. So it goes sometimes. Library, it goes without saying, is especially good in the Retro Cube. But, well, at least against me. Though in general, I would expect it to be pretty good. We'll see how this goes, huh? Now I kind of feel like I just need to play this Boros Signet. Because sitting on counter spells against the library is just not going to work. So at least now I have to like play Wandering Emperor on 3. Really not the position this deck ever wants to be in, is to pressuring the opponent. Like, it's just not going to function. But we'll see. Got to give it the old college try, as they say, because turn 1 library is a lot of pressure. So now, they upkeep library. So that might mean they don't have a land in hand. If they don't play a land this turn and then discard 2 cards, yeah, obviously we're back in it. But there's the land, and then they're probably going to play a Hymn to Turok. They discarded. Okay. Well, the swings here have been incredible. They discarded a Woodfall Primus, so that might mean they're reanimating. That also means they probably had that kind of set up if they lowered a library upkeep, though here it looks like they're not going to. It would be nice to get away with not having to cast a counter this turn, but it looks like I'm going to have to. Revoker. Okay. I'm just going to let that resolve. They're going to name Boros Signet, I imagine. And then I'm going to play Wandering Emperor. I'm going to go to attacks. I'm going to go get Scrubland. Play Wanderino here. I don't actually need to use it yet. If they now have a animate spell, so be it. Oh. They didn't use library. Exhume. Okay. Make a 2/2. Honestly, I think my odds of winning might be higher now because them animating a Woodfall Primus isn't the end of the world, and now they're off library. I mean, I need to draw something, but let's ponder into it. A little Fracture Identity? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's not shuffle. Let's just play Island. Pass the turn. I'm going to take 6 damage this turn from that Woodfall Primus. I can counter whatever they play here. And then next turn, I hope they play something so I can mana drain it. But if they don't, if they just sit on their hand to try to get up to library mana again, I can then Fracture Identity the Woodfall Primus and blow up the library. Decent chance they don't do anything here. Oh no, they're just in. Dothy Voidwalker. Okay, I'm going to mana drain that. Definitely not going to let Dothy Voidwalker resolve. Hope they don't have another animate spell. Okay, they did not. So now draw. And now I'm going to get to Scalding Tarn away, the last card here. But let's go. Fracture Identity Woodfall Primus. And I think I'd still blow up the library. I feel like I'll snuff it out in response. Oh, man, it had to be Snuff Out. Because now I can't even Mana Leak it. Oh, that is brutal. Brutal how that worked out. Yeah. Okay. Well. Oh, they killed the Scrubland. It means I still have Mana Leak up? That's kind of nice, but it's not really like Mana Leak's doing that much. All right. I still have some things I can do here. Now that it's persisted, Balance is on the table. It's a 5/5 now, so I have a little bit of time. Parallax Wave isn't really what I want to answer it, I will say that. But, all right, let's see what they do. Crack Tarn, get Hallowed Fountain. Action. Let's go. I guess I can hit with this. Maybe I should have last turn. It's fine either way. Pass the turn. It's also, I did hit the Fracture Identity Mana Drain, but I think everything else has been land so far, which is not exactly where I want to be. Okay, I go to 2 now. So I have 1 turn to draw an answer. All right, well, I guess I got to hope they don't library me the other rest of the game. Because, or hopefully it's even games. Because a library beat me pretty badly here. Because it not only drew them a bunch of extra cards. Oh, look, another island. It also forced me to like tap out for stuff. Control Magic is generally good against them. Obviously, Containment Priest is going to be good. Disenchant didn't look good so far. Wall of Omens? Yeah, I could take out Wall of Omens. Jeez, chill out with the zoom in. Lingering Souls is also kind of weak. I might want to take out Lingering Souls, and I could actually leave the Scrubland in because it might be that they target that instead of an island or something like that. And I get to put a card in. I don't really want Mystical Tutor. Gideon Jura could be okay. Relic Warrior, probably just Winds of Abandon. Winds of Abandon is a good way to kill some of those big reanimate cards. All right, I would like to play first. I mean, I'll keep this hand. No plays until 4 mana, but I do have a Mox. If this was 4 lands in these 3, I'd probably keep and like it less, but this hand I think is totally keepable. Mana Drain, obviously the card I'm looking for, but we'll see what comes up. And I'm going to play turn 1 Island Mox and kind of hope to represent some counters that I don't really have. I mean, I guess I can Subtlety here, but that's not the most appealing given the situation. All right, they mulligan to 6. Mox, Island, go. Elite Spellbinder would also be a fantastic draw here. Okay, and them not playing a library on turn 1 is also nice. All right, well, if I can fade 1 turn, then I get to Foff and have Subtlety up and Factor Fiction up into Teferi. I really don't want to see a Dothy Voidwalker this turn. I don't think I would Subtlety it. I just wouldn't want to see it. Oh, Bazaar of Baghdad. Okay. Wow. That's intense. They didn't use it right now? That's a little wild, but okay. Let's play Plains, pass the turn. They've got to... The thing about Bazaar is if they're going to use it end of turn, they should have just used it on their turn. What if they drew a Duress or a Reanimate? Are they saying they have no 1-mana spells in their deck? The only thing that's kind of annoying here is Subtlety is not that likely to be able to counter their next play if they played a Bazaar, because Bazaar sets up Reanimates. But we'll see. They discarded Fatal Push, Dark Petition, Archon. I guess Fatal Push is a reason to wait because they don't know if they want to discard it or not, but I still am a little suspicious, yeah. I can try to Foff into Force of Will or Force of Negation if I have to. So if they play like an Exhume or something. Also, well, I guess Exhume is kind of funny because I can Foff a creature into the graveyard, but then their Archon trigger will kill the creature, so it's like a little bit confusing. The way Bazaar games go also is if I can counter the first thing they play off it, they're at a huge disadvantage because they're currently down 3 cards. They kind of get one back off the Bloodghast, sure. Because they've discarded 6 cards to draw 4, and the Bazaar itself is also just not really a game piece. It doesn't tap for mana. All right, here's the Exhume. I'm sure. Oh, Revoker. Let's just cast Subtlety here. Gets them further away from an Animate. And, I mean, I guess they can put it on the bottom. Yeah, they did put it on the bottom. And then now I could Teferi. Oh, Parallax Wave? Yeah, let's go Teferi draw. See if my top card is... Oh, it's a Force of Will? All right, I'm not going to attack because I don't really care about dealing 3. And I want to be able to block the Bloodghast if it attacks Teferi. And because I have Teferi, I don't need the Foff that badly, so I can just force here. I'll just let this resolve. Okay. I didn't really want to keep Parallax Wave so bad. I was really hoping it'd hit Island. But honestly, keeping Foff is also pretty great here because I have Teferi Foff to use all my mana effectively. Balance doesn't look too impressive. Let's just factor fiction here. Oh, that's money. I will take 2 spells. And do I want to keep Containment Priest? I guess it'll depend on what 2 spells go together. What should they do? I guess it depends. I don't know because it depends on their hand, how good Elite Spellbinder or Force Containment Priest is. But my inclination is they don't want to give me Force plus Containment Priest. Containment Priest looks like the best card here, but they don't have an animate, or unless they're slow rolling it. Though Force is also really good. I might take Force Spellbinder though. No, I'll take Venser Containment Priest. Play an island. Pass the turn. Still no attacks. Just untap 2 planes here. So I have, and they're not using Bizarre Note. So I have both of these up. I can, if they play one, I guess the main risk now is if they have an animate plus a snuff out. Demonic Tutor. Okay. I could have ventured that, but I feel like venturing when I have a Containment Priest in play is better because they have to like kind of commit to it. We'll see. They're presumably not bizarring either. Okay, they're just going to pass. If I draw one more counter, I'm going to win pretty easily, I assume. Draw a card. That was the one more counter I was looking for. I could cycle Fire Ice here. Actually, I think I'll just play Containment Priest here because I'm gonna want to play it no matter what at some point here, and this lets me keep the mana up for Venser plus Mana Leak. I'm still not going to attack with Subtlety. Okay, because now I have double counter up, and I'm not going to use the Fire Ice yet. Snuff out as I assume what they tutored for. I also can end up in a spot where Bone Shards. I'm just going to Mana Leak it because Mana Leak is going to be dead soon. I mean, I guess they can like Snuff out plus Reanimate as their last 2 cards. No, they didn't have it. All right, go to game 3. Keep the balance in. Keep Winds of Abandon. Still don't really want Disenchant. Don't want Mystical Tutor. Let's go. All right, well, Parallax Wave is quite good in this matchup, and Force Spike on turn 1 is pretty good. I'm not going to mulligan because they could play a turn 1 library. Okay. That is not indeed a turn 1 library. And they don't know about the Force Spike because I never actually got around to casting in game 1. Oh, Force Negation is really good. So I should probably not cycle Fire Ice because just as a generic blue card to pitch to Force Negation, I think it's going to be a lot better. All right, Force Spike, this Voidwalker or him or whatever it is. Boom. Feels real good. Force spiking it up. All right, let's draw. All right, well, we got the counter wall up. Turn 1, Force Spike. Turn 2, Mana Drain. Unfortunately, nothing to use the Mana Drain on. That's a signed Consecrated Sphinx. I'm looking for you. Dothy Voidwalker. Yeah, I'm going to Mana Drain that. The problem is, yes, Wandering Emperor could kill it, but I don't have double white. And if I don't kill it and they play something and I have to drain or cast something like that, then they end up being able to then Dothy Voidwalker the mana drain. So let's just pass the turn. I have Force Negation up now. I'm still going to keep Fire Ice in hand because next turn I want to be able to Wandering Emperor with Force backup, but we'll see. I think I'm just going to Force here. It just lets me use my mana pretty nicely, and maybe they're going to get a non-creature spell, so it doesn't really seem like I should let them DT there on a turn where I could spend my mana, because it's not like my goal is to pitch the Fire Ice. It still cycles. All right, they're drawing a card. I don't mind that. All right, I mean, I've countered their first 3 spells on turns 1, 2, and 3. So that's not bad. Oh, Bazaar of Baghdad? Okay. Let's go. Let's see what gets discarded. I mean, Wandering Emperor is pretty good. Parallax Wave is also pretty nice. Woodfall Primus is certainly scary. They're going down to 3 cards in hand. Like, what if they had Bazaar already and they were going to Demonic Tutor for, like, the Archon, you know, or Woodfall Primus? Like, I feel like Casting Force was good there. The downside is if they were DTing for an Animate spell, maybe they'd Bazaar and set that up. Oh, they didn't even discard a creature. Okay. No plays. Well, I'm going to start putting some pressure on them. I know this isn't, like, the best thing in the world, but it's decent. Let's make another Samurai land, hit, and I'm just going to play the Parallax Wave here. I've got the Wandering Emperors providing a decent amount of pressure. This is good against them playing a discard spell, and there's some shallow grave type situations where having Parallax Wave in play is really nice. It's not very good against Woodfall Primus, but they're also Bazaarring themselves into Oblivion pretty fast here. And I've got Winds of Abandon in hand, so I've got an answer maybe to some of the things they could do. I feel okay about this. I've got a bunch of stuff in play. They're about to go down to 3 cards in hand. They haven't found a big creature as of last discard. They also discarded Deluge, which obviously that could have stopped these Samurais a little bit. But next turn I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on and attack for 5. Let's see if they hit their Bloodgust. They discarded 2 lands and a Scrapwork Mutt, and they're playing a Bitter Blossom? Oh, this game's over. It's not over because they could always just, you know, animate something. But first of all, 1 counter and it's just game. Second of all, like, Bitter Blossom is about the weakest play I'd imagine. I don't even know if it's good for them to cast it. It just loses them life. I have a Parallax Wave in play. I mean, honestly, they shouldn't have Bitter Blossom in their deck either. Like, oops, that's first strike. Let's not mess ourselves up here. All right, Teferi. Draw. Spellbinder. I think I'm going to upkeep Ice one of their swamps here. I don't need to keep it up for like a creature because I have Parallax Wave. All right. Vents are yeah, I think they're basically dead now. I just, every turn I've added to my board significantly, and now I really can't imagine, like, even if they go like Bazaar, discard Woodfall Primus, cast Exhume, which is like the most painless version of that. What's the Woodfall Primus going to do? Target my Parallax Wave, they lose their fairy token, and then I just Teferi it and have Venser and all that. Okay. Sure. You can put a Dothy Voidwalker into play, I guess, or maybe a Scrapwork Mutt. Yeah. All right. A little trophy action. I don't hate that. I really do not. Let's draw. Yeah, this game about as over as it gets. Put a counter on this. Parallax Wave their things. And then I have a million counter spells in hand. And I even get to Elite Spellbinder them. And still have up Venser / Subtlety. Actually, literally both. This has made my deck look pretty good. Force Spike into Bandage into Force Negation into Wandering Emperor into Parallax Wave. Yeah, I'll take the Reanimate. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is Jover. They go to 5. I've got it all. I mean, this was a sick curve, to be honest. So I think that nicely deserved trophy here. At least this game, this deck was really performing, and the Miracle Balance on against the mono green opponent, that was sick too. So pulled out some really close ones, and really loving this retro cube. So this has definitely inspired me. Shout out to Chris Wolf. I know he likes watching the videos because we talk about cube all the time. So hopefully he hears it. I want to put together a retro cube experience of my own. So maybe not this instant, again, given that I've got twins on the way, literally any day now, but it is on my list. So we'll be looking forward to that. And as soon as my opponent concedes, we got the 3-0. Reanimate the Scrapwork Mutt. All right. Do your thing, you know. Do your thing. Discard a card. Take your game actions. Draw a card. They can pass the turn if they want, but It's not happening. And we got libraried once. The other two games did not. And yeah, this deck worked out pretty nicely. Just good classic fun. Force of Negation, Force of Will, Subtlety, all 3 pitch counters. Fracture Identity performed as well as I expected, which is incredibly well. Teferi, the Mox didn't hurt at all. Ponder, Preordain, and then 3 2-mana counters, Mana Leak, Memory Lapse, Mana Drain, plus Force Spike. The balance was critical. I don't remember now what I took over Wrath of God, though I think it was something pretty good. I think it was like a counter or something. I could definitely have gone for a Wrath of God. That would have helped a lot against the mono green opponent, for example. So that would have been nice, but you know what? This worked out perfectly, and also shows the power of Parallax Wave even in a aggressive deck. So that'll do it for today. I had a blast. Hope you did too. I appreciate you hanging out with me as I make my way through the Retro Cube, and I'll be back tomorrow with another draft. I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel, and you won't miss a single draft.